Hello guys, today we have a Wagon 6x6 episode in due yellow color. In this episode I will tell you a lot of interesting things. Let's start with the carbon arch extenders. They are made of carbon fiber. We were joined by a person who works in Germany and made carbon furniture. And now for us he makes a lot of carbon goodies for our G-Wagon. In the last episode I told you that I want to make from carbon fiber a hood trim, bumper fangs, a bumper house and arch extenders. And carbon should be exactly in the variant of the cage, 8 mm. We have already begun to look for fabric. It turned out to a big problem in our country to find it. But by some miracle we found 8 meters of fabric. Ordered it and started manufacturing. And it turned out to be the most difficult weaving in carbon products. Since it's very thin and if it is not stretched correctly, the whole drawing will be crooked. But I consulted the master, I told him to not rush and we will give everything he needs. About everything we need and he already begun to the process. And now guys, we will tell you about rims. In the last episode I told you that we started manufacturing the disc in another country. Unfortunately no one does this in our country. It was a difficult process. We also redid the 3D model of the discs a couple of times, as some did not suit us. I even drew the drawings of the bolts that connected the wheel and tire gearbox by myself. High, width and so on. Despite all the difficulties, we are able to do it. But there were a few more problems. For example, the manufacturer himself made the wrong cap that covered the bolts from the ice. Then I made them redo and everything turned out great. All the discs have already been shown to me and sent to me, but the discs themselves are gorgeous. So we're waiting and soon I will show you them to your closer. And now guys, I want to discuss some issues with you and even consult. I am talking about the old topic, about the steering wheel. I want to put the steering wheel from the G-Wagon with year of production 2016 to 2017 in principle. The issue is resolved. I found a person who will connect everything to me, set up the onboard computer. I saw that some companies are reworking the front panels of the speedometer, in the sense of restyling them. They retain their appearance, but the center console is being redesigned for 2016 G-Wagon, and so on. I ordered the monitor in China, exactly the same as the original, but I am also interested in music turntable and knobs for adjusting the temperature. What do you say? What the model are they from?
Или Command ее называют, и крутилки от климата. Вот интересно, что вы скажете, от какой это модели.
Now guys, let's talk about speedometer panel. I found on the internet a beautiful speedometer panel for G-Wagon. An old speedometer panel that has been converted to a new one. And it seems that someone is doing it in Ukraine. I want to find them because the work is really worthwhile. And now guys, we will talk about the seats. This is how we will decorate our salon. Which means we bought the seats from the BMW E65 and want to change it to the style that you will see in the photo. I don't want to screw up. I just want to make a strict beautiful style. The only thing I doubt is the perforation in the center. And also silver thread as in the photo, only instead of red threads I want to make a thread of a color like car or black. But I think there should definitely be a perforation. We were looking for the seats themselves for a very long time. There are many variants, but most of them are paired. But we needed them with the electronics and the armrest was made of pure wood, without a joystick. These are very rare. All seats and controls will work. And here are the cup holders. This will be painted in the future and if suddenly the color of the wood does not match on the panel, we will of course redo everything hydro painting will help.
Конечно же, это все перекрасим, переделаем. Аквапечать в помощь.
Front seats will not change unless they are received to the same style. And the rear seats can be moved 10 to 20 centimeters more. But I think it's necessary. We can cut off the wheel arches since they are not needed there, since we moved the middle axle back. And here are our glasses. We made 5 sets, 5 on the side, 5 on the other, and another set of small ones. You may ask why we ordered so many. Because we have already started selling some sets for self-construction, according to our video instructions. We ordered all the details in advance. Now we are starting to insert the rear windows. The rear glass is already with the factory primer and has already been tempered in the oven. This is an indestructible primer. On the body I matted the glass with the Raj sandpaper, and now I will paint it with our usual primer. And we will glue them with glass glue. It seems to be called a crocodile. Why exactly this company? I don't know, but we had a problem with the limousine. We glued the glasses on app glue for glass, and our glasses peeled off. Literally, after 2 weeks, the glass began to peel off. It will be defective glue or frozen. Because it was winter, and because of this, we began to buy in winter in warm stores, because God forbid the situation could not happen again. After we have applied the primer and allowed it to dry 40 minutes, we applied the glass adhesive. Here are, guys, our tie rod. It's a pain in my ass. You may know that we had one problem, so we began to increase the tie rod as much as possible. We strengthened it according to the Mansory principle. That is, inside the sleeve we welded the holes, then on both sides of the lining, and from beginning to the end a thick walled corner. Now it looks very bad if you look straight down there. But now I want to find a solid pipe and attach it to the pre-treated tips with powerful clamps. Now, guys, we are fighting with the brakes. Here are our rear sidewalls, and here are the rear brakes. The brake discs will be all replaced, because they are stuck and have a very large reach inward, and it is impossible to put a caliper there. Calipers will be all original. The brakes are all the same, and the front is 4-piston. In the front we have already decided everything. Made wooden faceplates 10 mm thick. They are made like steps to mill somewhere, raise somewhere, etc. And we added bottled caliper fasteners. They also have a different thickness, but this is from the factory. The front caliper is already on. With the rear ones, we are now figuring out where they will stand. We will lower them a little down, but we will have to cut down the side a little. If we go deep 2 to 3 millimeters, then nothing will be terrible.
Ничего не будет страшного.
Our front caliper is original. We have already installed it with various problems figured out. They saved off the final drive a little so that the bolts would go in.
Для того, чтобы болты входили, чтобы закрутить было легко.
The brake disc is not original, but we selected it in all respects like the original. But the only thing was that the offset was changed to go more outward. It is ventilated, and at the back we have ordinary ones from G-Wagon, without ventilation. Here we made the guide ring. It is a little larger and studs are no longer for pancakes. You still need to give 2 or 3 centimeters, so that the disc becomes even. And the wheel is clearly under the arch.
Ну а наши портальные мосты были на прихватках, они не были обварены. И сейчас пришло время их обварить и усилить.
Now guys, I think why don't you put a string damper on the front axle? This will be more correct, since the more Jeeps have them. And we decided to install it. First I thought to put it with patrols. But then I took a damper from the G-Wagon that we recently changed. It is new and very powerful. And we decided to install it. We will install it from the rod that holds the 2 fangs, together to the bridge. In principle, this is the same as it was in the G-Wagon. The difference is that they held their fangs at the back. But in our case, it will stand in the front of the axle. Just now we got a full fix kit for our portal axles. There are all rubber bands, seals, antennas, cuffs. There will be a complete troubleshooting of axles. And we also got the main pairs, but this is for our other project Mercedes with 650 HP, also 6x6. Held them in for chemical analysis to see if it was a quality part. During a few minutes I decided to assemble the mirrors, since after painting they are dismantled. It is necessary to completely assemble the front grille mask and install the eyes, and then on the car itself. It's time to paint the frame. The frame is from G-Wagon, not the one we made, since after sandblasting and coating with epoxy primer, there should be no problems with it. And since the car is old, from 2001 Raptor period Z. It is not rotten, but there is a little rust. And now I am climbing to clean it all. You guys have to be careful with this stuff, because during cleaning the wire flies out at super speed, and I do not advise you to do it without glasses. It's been 2 days already. I crawled under the frame, cleaned something there. In short time dissatisfied with the result. Rust from micropores cannot be reached with wires, without sandblasting in any way, but there is no possibility. The car is all disassembled, and it's not possible to transfer it to sandblasting. If sandblasting is done here, there the sand will simply destroy everything for us. Of course, we have a small sandblasting pistol, we need to dry the sand and start doing it, but then it will be the end of everything. In general, we took all sorts of liquids, a rust converter to kill it there, and smeared 2 layers in order to not give rust a chance. Well, here is a result of the fact that the car is 2001, and what problems can be with them. It would be more logical to remove the body from the frame and take it to the sandblasting. Paint it, maybe even powder paint, and cover it with the primer. That would be better. But since we do not have such an opportunity, we are already doing this ourselves. I will say that epoxy primer decides here. It does not let rust in for a long time. There will be no rust for at least 2 years. But since I have already cleaned this frame, my hands are already falling off, and this is all in 2 days. I think that everything will be fine. While we smoothed the bolts a little where the metal was exposed, we prime it and let it dry and started applying Raptor in 2 layers. Everything is as always. It is night outside and we are starting to paint, but it's not bad, at least we don't interfere with anywhere. So guys, we finished painting our frame, and someone wrote that the welds look ugly, and I always answered that beauty interests me least of all in welds, because I know that the ground is good ahead, and then painting with Raptor in 2 bold layers. Now you can see not a single weld is visible. They are all filled and they are not visible at all.
знаете, шовчики из герметика. То есть их вообще не видно. Вообще.
But we had some problems. I painted everything myself, all the cracks, etc. I ran around the car with a lamp so that everything was painted and looked perfect. Then I applied the first layer and the frame turned black. And the second layer, I think to mix two bottles to make a gloss. That is, pour it in and so that it will be shagreen at the same time. And then such a situation came up, that I took out the last bottle from the packaging, sprinkle it and through that now I will split two more bottles. Because this is an exhibition copy, so that customers come and look and that everyone like it. Well, in general, I open a new package. It says black, and inside the bottle it's white. This was at 2:30 p.m. and we ran all over the city to look for two bottles of black Raptor. Since the last painting, this can no longer be done in the morning, because it will have to be matted and painted. In general, we were rescued. We finished that everything and I am basically happy with everything. You asked me in the comments why I covered the frame with the Raptor. To be honest, I don't know such thoughts. Came to me after we covered one frame. First we had a primer, then anti-gravel, but after applying the anti-gravel after a while it starts to turn grey. It becomes matte and absorbs dirt. In general, this does not fit. But you can apply primer on anti-gravy and after half an hour you can paint it and it will be the same color as Raptor. But it turns out to be some kind of mess. Why do all this if you can apply two layers of the Raptor and get the same result? It may be such more expensive but better quality, I think it's right. I read your comments and you didn't like the fact that we screwed the self-tapping screw directly into the body and that it would be then rust. Also we did it through a silent, but on this car we fixed everything, we loaded all the fasteners in order to attach clamps to them later. Since our car is sold and the infusion of money does not end, we had already begun assembly. And all the rubber bands, bolts and moldings are no longer suitable. And you know there is a long molding above the windshield, and I would never have thought that it was prefabricated. We had to buy an aluminium molding. Here is original part number, and rubber is already put on it. You look at what it looks like, but when it's assembled everything will be okay. But after that all, we had to buy windshield seal, because the G-Wagon is old and the rubber is dry, and the water may leak and we had to buy windshield seal. Guys, here are our carbon arch extenders. This is a very complex sweep, and we did it. This is success. Of course, a specialist worked on this. I told him that I would buy everything, and most importantly, that he would not be in a hurry and do everything perfectly. As a result, he did a very good job. Here you see what we did, and if you notice any problems, be sure to write in comments. How do you guys the front arch? I really like it. It is beautiful, all the cells are even, but look at our longest parts. Those are rear arch extenders, and they are 2.6 meters long. I also really like them, and I want you to write your opinion in the comments. And guys, this overlay usually comes in body color in G-Wagon. What do you tell me? Should I leave it carbon or should I do in body color? Now critics will probably write, Sanya, why do you show smooth surface? Show the corners, this fabric is very difficult to make. Okay, let's look at the corners. Everything is wonderful here, I like it. It's clear that the fabric cannot be applied unevenly, because the whole drawing will immediately destroy. It reminds you to show the lining on the hood. This is Brabus style, it's also out of the cage, and look awesome. All this will be polished once, more than the whole machine is assembled. I want to completely remove the pebbles from the whole car and especially from the carbon lining. It is possible that the varnish will shark. Since the varnish should crystallize in 30 days, I will wait, I will remove all the chagrin and it will be fine. And we are still waiting for a bumper pad in the shape of a house, and instead of chrome carbon fangs. Now guys, I can say that we can make custom carbon products. And they are not seen as usual in stores. Our product is of higher quality and will not vibrate from the wind while driving. As soon as we finish our G-Wagon, you can already buy carbon from us. Let's decide on the inscriptions and logos. Behind the inscription Brabus, G-Wagon 6x6, etc. There may be various options. But the question itself consists of what color should I make them. I will have gold plates once. They are not cheap, but I doubt it if it look authentic. If our G-Wagon were black, perhaps it would be beautiful. There are also chrome lettering and matte chrome, or black or matte black. Write in the comments who and what thinks. V8 inscriptions, B-turbo on the sides, behind you can write Brabus 6x6. There may be various options of inscriptions, but the point is to decide what color the inscription will be. It seems to me that gloss black or gold would suit. In general, write in the comments. I am reading everything. And now we have got some sweeties for the G-Wagon. We once refused such turn signals because it makes the car look older. And now I buy them new because they should be all 6x6. Mirror extensions are now being delivered to us. That is a spacer between the mirror and the door. It is in the region of 5 or 7 centimeters, so that the rear view is larger. It costs 6x6 and we must also do this. We also have anti-squeeze that works on the latches that are in contact with the rubber band. But our doors don't creak because our bolts were coverted with factory stock tape. But this I think is already something like an additional tuning of the doors, so there is no extraneous noise. So guys, I showed you everything. Be sure to comment on where we did well and where we did not. And with your help, we'll assemble the most beautiful G-Wagon 6x6. Guys, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, so that you receive notifications of new videos on our channel, and soon the release of our G-Wagon into the light. Do not forget about it. Bye.